Hey everyone, it's time for another dose of leadership. So let me start off by asking you a question. How often do you ask somebody what their feelings are about something, what their opinion is about something, whether it's personally or professionally? Maybe it's after a training, after a meeting, after anything really. Often we do. We say, so, what did you get out of this training? And you should ask that. Or maybe you give out a survey at the end of a program or a project or whatnot. And here's where the problem comes. If you're going to ask somebody for their opinion about something, you need to be willing and ready to acknowledge it. Meaning, not just take the piece of paper or take the information that comes at you and kind of push it aside and say, okay, I did what I had to do. I got my program done. I got my class done. I got my video done. I don't really care what people have to say. I'm going to ask them, but I'm just going to put it aside anyway. Here's the thing. If you're going to ask somebody their opinion about something, if you're going to ask for their feedback, you need to acknowledge it. There's a lot of ideas out there that really aren't so great. I don't want to say it any more powerfully than that, but a lot of silly ideas come our way sometimes. But if we don't encourage people to bring us their ideas, they're going to stop bringing them. When I go into an organization, when I go into consult and an organization brings me and says, you know what, Dr. Fero, you know what, Howard, we want you to come in here. We want you to help us to be more effective. When I go in there, I'm going in there with the attitude that the right people have been hired for the organization. I'm going in there with the attitude that human resources did their job and brought in some great quality people. If they didn't, then that's a whole other level and a whole other layer that we have to acknowledge, we have to go through. But if you have the right people in the organization, you want to encourage them to bring you their ideas. You want to encourage them to share their opinions because you know what? You have the right people there. You've hired the right people to help you to become successful and more effective and to work the best that they can. So when they're there, I want to get everything I can out of them. I want to ask them all the time, hey, you know what? If you have an idea how to do something better, bring it to me. But here's the problem. If they bring you an idea and you say to them, you know what, I'm not interested right now. Or if they give you a survey at the end of a program and you say, okay, I'm not going to pay attention to that. Eventually, and it doesn't take long, they're going to stop bringing it to you. And they're going to stop caring when they fill out that survey. How many email surveys do you guys get in a week, in a month, in a year? You probably get a lot of them. So if you don't think that the value is there and you spending your time filling it out, you're going to stop filling it out. If you don't feel that the work you're giving to your employer, is going to matter to them, you're going to stop sharing your opinions. In the past, I've had clients who, I had this one client who I walked into their office and it was for a coaching client. I walk in and I see there's a stack of papers on their desk. And I said, what is this stack of papers? And the person I was talking to, I was meeting with said, well, that's all the reports that my employees had to fill out for me. And I said, that's all from this week? Because I had met with her the week before. And they said, no, that's a few weeks. That's a few weeks. I just kind of put it over there. I said, are you going to look through all that? And she said, no, I don't need to look through all that. I know what they're doing. And I looked at her and I said, well, don't you think that a lot of work went into filling out all those reports and sending you those reports and giving you all those reports? And she said, yeah, I guess so. And I said, well, I walked into your office and the door is open usually. Don't you think your employees walk by the office and see that stack of paper and realize they did all that work for nothing? And she said, yeah, I guess so. If you're going to ask people to do something, you've got to pay attention to it because otherwise they're going to stop doing it for you or they're going to stop doing a good job for it. And we really want to show our people that we value their opinion and we want them to keep sharing it with us. We want them to keep giving it to us because, like I said earlier, we have to assume that the right people are in the organization. If they're not, we'll deal with that, and we should deal with that too. But if we have that assumption, if you're going to ask somebody for their opinion, then do something with it. I have a little image that I show in my workshops sometimes, and it's of a suggestion box. And, I ask my audience, I'll ask my, people in a workshop or a keynote, I'll say, do you think suggestion boxes are good ideas? And everyone says, yeah, we want to gather the suggestions. That's great. And that's whether it's a literal suggestion box or a figurative suggestion box. And I say, well, what if the suggestion box looks like a shredder to the people who see it? And I'll put up a little image of a shredder. And everyone says, oh, no, that's not good. But realize that if somebody walks by, let's imagine you have a real suggestion box in your office place. Somebody walks by and sees a suggestion box, and in their mind, it appears like a shredder to them because they know no one's ever going to look at those suggestions. it's almost like someone kind of digging at you, and it actually serves as a demotivator. Remember, our goal all the time is to motivate, inspire, engage, empower, get our people to care and to work their hardest. If they feel like they're not being listened to, they're not going to do that. So, your lesson for today, the dose for the week, the dose for the day is if you're going to ask, listen, acknowledge. And if you can't use an idea and if idea really doesn't work, explain why. You don't have to do it for everybody, right? If you have a meeting of 30 people there and you're asking for some ideas, just pick a few of them and acknowledge, you know what, we can't do this right now because, we don't have the time, we don't have the resources, but you know what, we're going to hold on to that idea. Or this isn't going to work right now, but you know what, I want to revisit this in a couple of weeks. Make sure people know you're open to their ideas, you want their ideas, you want their feedback, because as soon as you stop showing that you're welcome to it, they're going to stop giving it. Have a great day, have a great week, and I'll see you with the next dose.